Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sarah and I bring you weekly Formula One videos and women in motorsport interviews. And now that you're here, there are two very easy things that I want you to do. And the first is I need you to hit that subscribe button so that you will be the first, the very first, to know when my new video drops each week. And once you've done that, I'm going to need you to drop a comment down below on the topic of this video telling me whether or not you think that Sir Lewis Hamilton is going to win his 8th World Championship in 2023, because we are now just 3 weeks away from the beginning of the new F1 season, which, as we all know, kicks off in Bahrain the weekend of March 3rd. And a big question on the minds of many of us F1 fans after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix controversy, let's call it, of 2021 and Red Bull's dominance in 2022 is, will 2023 be the year that Lewis Hamilton breaks Michael Schumacher's elusive record of 7 Formula One World Driver Championships? Let's get into it.
And now he finds himself alongside Michael Schumacher as top in the record books. The World Championship record is equalled. Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion.
The first question you would naturally be asking here is, does Lewis have a car to win the World Championship in 2023? And the answer is, we don't know right now, because as of the filming of this video, the Mercedes F1 2023 W14 car is not being launched for about another week. So that launch is happening on the 15th of February. So really, we just don't know exactly what to expect from the car. And even when it launches on February 15th, we're still not going to know. But I think we can make some pretty safe assumptions here. For example, Mercedes spent pretty much the entirety of the 2022 season trying to figure out what was going wrong with their car and get to the bottom of those issues and make continuous improvements throughout the season. Now, they did manage to do that to the point where obviously they got a race win by the very end of the year. And I think that we can assume that they will continue to work on those solutions and other solutions, even ones that they'll have looked at other teams that suffered less from poisoning like Ferrari and Red Bull and have thought, okay, what can we workshop from those cars that will be able to apply to our own car? But as I say, we just don't know what kind of car is going to turn up first race of the season in Bahrain. We just don't know. What we can say for sure is that all signs are pointing to Mercedes making a huge push for a championship in 2023. Now, you might say, Sarah, obviously, duh, why wouldn't they make a huge push? This feels different. This feels like there is a specific goal in mind, and I will get into that more later on in this video, but it just looks like it's different this year. And Mercedes have not been complaining about the cost cap issues that Red Bull have already said are sort of hindering some of the work that they would like to be doing for this season. So that should also be a good sign in theory. Another factor that I think it's important to consider here is Lewis's longevity in motorsport. You know, he said in an interview not too long ago that the ideal for any sports person is to retire at the top of their game, and particularly if you've been a very successful sports person. And he said that, look, he's no different. He doesn't want to end his career trundling around in the back like many of his, colleagues that he has come through the ranks with have done. He wants to retire with that world title in his hands, that number 8. He wants it. And as we approach what is now his 17th consecutive year in Formula One, it has to be acknowledged that, look, he's 38 years of age. And normally I don't like to harp on the age thing, because Lewis and Toto have both said that they could be happy for him to continue for another couple of years, and he's clearly still in brilliant competitive shape. But the reality is that competing at the very top of your sport for a prolonged period of time, it does take a toll mentally, physically, emotionally. And in addition to that, we have to remember that the F1 season is getting longer and longer each year. More and more races keep being added. And that also means that your preseason has to be adjusted accordingly too. So, this is no joke. And Lewis also has a ton of extracurriculars outside of Formula One that he's passionate about. And, he's got everything from music to fashion to his foundation. And you sort of have to wonder, at what point will he decide to flip the balance here and give those projects and causes more focus than his driving? It's difficult to know how much this third point will really influence Lewis's decision about his career, but I do wonder whether he would ever bow out of Formula One before he's 100% ready due to the turn it's been taking lately. We've got, drivers literally being censored as of this upcoming season. We've had, his efforts as far as his own political statements and his own personal beliefs being either ignored or punished. And let's be completely honest about this, Formula One has become more of a circus than ever in the recent Drive to Survive era. There's been positives and negatives of that, but I think the rapidly decreasing value that's being placed on drivers' opinions and sometimes safety, think about Suzuka, is hugely concerning just for us as fans. And we're not even the people that have to get into those cars, right? So alongside that, you have the retirement of, fellow drivers that he came up with in the sport, like Sebastian Vettel. And for at least the majority of Lewis Hamilton's career, I would have said that he didn't care much about who was dipping in and out of the sport because he was laser focused on his own journey. But I think in recent years, he's become a bit more sort of public about who he has solid relationships with in the paddock and who he doesn't. And it's been a very short list. And I know that Sebastian Vettel was pretty much at the top of that list, and obviously he is now gone. And he's the only sort of remaining vet if you discount Fernando Alonso, because we know they are not exactly best friends. So not saying that Fernando isn't there, but he's not going to be on this list of Lewis's potential, allies that remain in the sport. And I just have to wonder, do we think that there could be a possibility of Lewis feeling as though it's truly time to hand the baton over to younger drivers, and that he just doesn't really resonate with, the overall image that's being portrayed of Formula One? And not only does he not resonate with it, because I guess to an extent that was always the case and he's been open about that, but his ability to influence is actively, along with all the other drivers, being suppressed. And for someone like him, who's so passionate about so many causes, that's got to be a real deterrent. All right, so we've chatted about a couple of things that I think are going to influence Lewis Hamilton's remaining journey in Formula One, and whether that's the car, whether it's how he feels about the sport in general. I think that this year, as I said at the top of the video, Mercedes are making a massive push for a world championship. And I personally think they could prove me wrong here, but listen, given the choice, they would like that championship to be won by Sir Lewis Hamilton. George Russell is an absolutely mega talent, and he has a massive future in Formula One. There's no denying that whatsoever. On the other hand, Mercedes really can't guarantee how many more seasons they're going to have with Lewis in the car. And I think the time is now for him to get the deal done and to break that 21-year record of the absolute legend Michael Schumacher and his 7 world championship titles. I think this is the year. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I love chatting with you all in the comments. And as I said at the beginning of the video, make sure you go and drop a comment down below. Tell me whether you think this is Lewis's year or not to win that final championship and bow out on a high. If not, who do you think is going to pip him to the post? Is it going to be another huge rivalry with Max Verstappen as it was in 2021? Maybe George Russell is going to be his biggest close competitor. Is it going to be a Ferrari? Tell me what you think. I will look forward to seeing your thoughts in the comments. And in the meantime, take care and enjoy your racing.